proclaiming. No, I don't want to.
President is?
He's not. He doesn't care about politics. He doesn't care about politics.
So how is Jesus your president if he's not? I mean that's a cool sentiment and all, but there's a literal president.
Jesus is the leader of our lives.
Okay, that's cool. I actually appreciate you guys for having at least the common sense to support somebody like that. I don't believe that you don't, but my thing here is that there is a real president of the United States who has real power over real people's lives, right? My life has been detrimentally affected by this person in office, right?
Okay. I'm sorry for that.
Jesus is a president. Cool. That's a cool sentiment. But there's a real president that we actually need to celebrate.
There's a real God named Jesus
maybe
also.
You should do some prayer to him.
What does that do for me?
Why do you think God has?
Okay, so
wait a minute. Let me ask you something. Why do you think God has not revealed himself to you?
Prayer can pay your bills.
No. He can provide you with income in a lot of different ways you don't even know because you haven't experienced him yet. But let me ask you the question: why?
You don't even give me the opportunity.
You guys didn't even ask me if I'm a spiritual person.
I didn't tell you. You haven't experienced Jesus.
Why not?
The only God is Jesus.
That's not true.
Oh well, I can prove it.
Okay. Were you there?
But let me ask you: why do you think God hasn't revealed himself to you yet?
Your God hasn't.
There's only one God.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
That's not true.
It's absolutely true.
Do you know how many gods there have been over the course of human history?
It doesn't matter. You got.
I'm right mentality is good.
No, you got to admit there's demons that are planting all kinds of false things too, right? There's demons in the world. If there's gods in the world, there's demons. Huh?
Right? That's what your God, your book says.
You don't believe there's some demons?
No, I don't.
Oh, then that's another problem.
I believe in spirituality. I believe in the idea that we are all on Earth.
Right.
The real world around us.
Spirituality. Well, who created the universe then? Because it wasn't nothing.
I believe it was either a deist God, which is somebody. Do you know what deism is?
Yeah. You're claiming a singular God. You just don't believe in the God of the Bible.
No. What is deism? I want you to explain it to me.
Go ahead and tell me. I don't know what you mean by it.
So if you want to debate something, come with information. Don't sit out here and act like you know what you're talking
Don't ask me questions.
Did you know that the Bible is the most studied, most printed, most celebrated
it's the most printed book
in the history of mankind?
Yeah. Do you know who started printing it?
You think there's a reason for it?
Who started printing it?
Christians.
In what nation?
America.
No, you fucking idiot! It's Johannes Gutenberg in Germany. What is wrong with you?
There's nothing wrong with it.
Gutenberg started
the
a
printing press.
Yeah,
and his
the
most
Bible
important book was printed via the Bible. It was the Bible.
Sure.
Okay, so that's a good example.
I didn't say written. I said printed.
So what was the first book that he chose to print?
The Bible.
The Bible.
Yes.
What does that tell you?
It tells me that
it's
he was
a pretty
Christian.
important document.
It tells me he was a Christian.
Okay, now before that, name a document that is even half as celebrated and researched and studied
and criticized.
And the Epic of Gilgamesh is one.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what it is because you're a Christian and you live in ignorance, right?
Yeah, but it's not anything that's celebrated.
I don't know it, right? That's what you just said. What you just said is it's not important because I don't know it.
No.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I'm saying the majority of people throughout mankind, starting with Abraham.
Let's start with the Quran, then.
Starting with Abraham.
What about the Quran? It's just a celebrated.
The Quran was started 600 AD.
Yeah, after Christ.
Yeah, the Quran's not even close.
And it has to steal. It has to steal from Christ to even have it in
so
its
you hate
existence.
Muslims too?
No, I don't hate anybody. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate anybody. Don't put on me what I don't. When I'm not. What's not true. I don't hate anybody.
Well, you put a bunch of stuff on me. You don't believe in God. You don't believe in this.
I know God. I'm in a one-on-one relationship.
He rattles off a whole bunch of bullshit at me like this, like without any.
Well, you don't know God. That's for sure.
Okay, and you don't know anything else. Yeah. All you know is God.
No, you don't know what I don't know. You don't know what I know.
All you know is God. Does that
make sense to you? You don't know what I don't know because
you don't know what I don't know.
Well, I know you don't have Jesus in your heart.
That's right.
I can tell that.
I don't.
Yeah, obviously.
I don't.
It's pretty apparent.
So then, therefore, you don't know God.
Cut off for when we should communicate
No, that's why you're here.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I wanted to talk to you.
And I wanted to talk to you too because you guys are spreading really horrible, really misinformed beliefs.
Says the Bible, which we've already confirmed is the strongest document in the history of mankind.
I didn't agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's
you don't
true.
have to agree with
It's
it.
not.
You
It's
can't.
physically
You
correct.
can't.
Okay,
you
so
can't.
now we went from writing to document. So let's talk about more important documents.
No, what's-
any encyclopedia, any dictionary.
Ever heard of the Dead Sea Scrolls?
Yeah, probably somewhere out in the Middle East. Yeah, the Dead
Okay.
Sea. Yeah.
What about the
What about it?
Ethiopian Bible?
What are you touching my fucking car for?
I'm taking a leaf out of your windowsill.
Don't ever do that.
What about the Ethiopian Bible?
What?
The Ethiopian Bible?
Or the
Yeah,
Gothic Bible.
The only Christian African nation, right?
No.
Yeah.
It's one of the most
only
accurate
Christian
Bibles
African nation before
in the history of
colonialism
mankind, and it's
raping people to convert them to Christianity.
the information in that is 6,000 years old.
Okay.
So
So why does age equal correctness, right? The Greeks believed
age,
The Greeks who were alive way before the Bible believed in the four humors. Are those correct?
well, they changed. And where's their doctrine now?
Where's their doctrine?
Yeah.
Okay, we have Plato's allegory of the cave. We have Socrates. We have Aristotle's.
That's just
philosophy.
fiction or science or something. But I'm talking about spiritual stuff, like
You guys are so
like
misinformed.
Abraham and Noah.
You guys
and-
should do your research on stuff. You guys really should, because that's the problem. Is that you guys want to have these ideas, and you guys are allowed to have these ideas.
So
in this
name a
country.
document that's more studied, more revered,
I don't
more
care.
celebrated
I really don't care.
than the Bible.
I don't
That
care.
tells you that
It doesn't tell you.
Yes, it does.
No, because what you're
That's
doing,
proof
it's a
right
logical
there.
fallacy. It's a logical fallacy. Do you know what a fallacy is? Do you
well, I
what the word
know that if
fallacy
you're
means?
believing in something that
Define
most
fallacy to
people
me.
in the world don't believe
Define
in.
fallacy.
No, you're
You
not
don't
listening.
know what it means because you.
I know what
engage in
fallacy
it.
means.
What does it mean?
A fallacy is when you believe in something that is not true.
No.
What's a
It's like
fallacy?
talking to children. It really
Fallacy is something
It's
false.
Not. It's not. It's not.
Oh, okay.
A fallacy
What
is a
what is-
literary device that you use to preach incorrect information.
Is
It
whatever
not the
is
information.
whatever God
It
you
is
believe
what
in
you
have a
are
moral
doing.
law?
It is a strong man. It is a
You
straw man.
do some research. We'll be here next week.
Yeah,
You
we're here
tell
every
me-
week.
You guys
tell
harass
us-
the people across the street.
tell us that-
they told
Huh?
me that you guys say things horrible to them over the speaker.
I don't
that you
say-
guys-
we don't say horrible
you guys
things-
blare their
horrible
music
things to
out
anybody.
with
We
your
preach
guys'
to 'em.
music.
Yeah, we preach
we don't
to
say
them.
anything
You
horrible
preach
to them at all.
Yeah.
You know how? Do you realize how disgraceful that is? To
No.
preach to somebody who
No, it's
doesn't
not.
want
That's
you
what the Bible
to them?
says to do.
No,
Yeah, the Bible
just declare it to everybody.
So
You
yeah, your
declare
God,
the truth
your
to
God
everybody, and they
literally
have to
says-
choose what
your
they're
God
going to believe.
literally says
Nobody
when
forces
people-
anybody.
corner.
Your God literally
Nobody
says
forces
when
anybody.
people don't want you, convert
They'll walk
them.
away.
No,
Convert them and
no. That's the
force them
Quran.
to believe
No, that's
you.
the Quran.
How can you force
What are you
them?
talking
How
about?
can you
Bible
force
doesn't say
Read the
you
Quran.
can't
Have you
force
read the Quran?
anybody to believe.
Read the Quran.
You
Have
can't
you read
force.
it?
Yes, I
Quran,
have.
read it?
Yes,
The
I have.
Quran
You can't
forces
believe. You can't
people.
force anybody to believe.
If you don't believe in the Quran,
don't.
then they are instructed to kill you.
Belief is a choice.
That's force.
Yes, there's 110 verses
That's
where they
force.
say if
Okay,
you don't
okay,
believe,
see us
kill
next
them.
week.
Okay.
Do some
Kill the
research.
unbeliever.
You want to talk about killing? Let's talk about the Crusades. How many Muslims died because of
I don't agree with the Crusades. It's against what God said and against
Don't
what
blame,
Jesus said.
don't blame God for the sins of mankind.
Yes, right.
And don't blame your God for the sins of the Quran.
No, the
That
Quran
doesn't make any
specifically
sense.
says to slaughter and kill all the unbelievers.
Okay.
I can give you 110 verses where they
So did the
specifically
Crusades.
tell it.
So
No,
did the
you said-
Crusades.
no, wait.
They literally
no,
raped
no, it's-
children during the Crusades.
the Crusade,
So
whatever
let's
the
go back and
Crusades.
talk about Trump, and Trump did this, and
Whatever
now
the
he sounds
Crusades
like
did, yeah.
someone you're enthusiastic about the Quran.
Trump?
Yeah.
I'm enthusiastic about Trump.
Well, yeah, you're enthusiastic about
About how he's a horrible dictator
the-
who's ruining our country. Yeah.
and how the Quran is such a great book.
I didn't say I believe
Yeah.
you. I just said it's just as violent. It's a religious text, right?
Real
Just as
quick,
much as
the
I believe in
Crusades
Torah.
weren't obeying
Just
the
as much
Bible.
as I believe in the
There's
secret
nothing in the Bible that tells you to slaughter and kill
Just as
unbelievers.
much as I believe in deism. Just as much as I believe in all these other religions.
Jesus says to love your enemies, not kill them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the Crusades were an opposite of what Jesus said to do.
Okay. So can you at least admit to me that Jesus was a black Jew and not a white guy?
He's not a white guy, no, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, he's a Middle Eastern Jew.
Yeah, he was a dark skin. Now, I don't think he was black, but I don't think he was white. He was dark skin, probably more East Indian type coloring and stuff like that.
So you're way more respectable than most Christians are. Right?
The Bible even says that he was not beautiful where anybody would admire him and stuff like that. He was only with a homeless person. The established Jews at the time, they mocked him because he was. Well, the Jews are the ones who killed him. The Jew, huh?
Hate him a little more because then they like kill him.
No, the Jews killed him, and they
So you crucify people without caring?
Hold on, the Jews
The
killed
Romans crucified him, not the Jews.
the Jews killed him and
The
forced
Jews said, ask the Romans, Jews could not kill somebody
Yeah, the Jews
The
killed them, but
Romans
they
could
forced the
only kill
Romans to do it.
somebody.
Yes, so the
So
Romans
the
did.
Jews asked the
Romans
Romans
did
to
it.
kill somebody, and in fact, Pontius
Romans-
Pilate said, "This is not my doing here.
The
It's not my
Romans-
deal." And he sent him over to another guy, and he said the same thing. He's done nothing wrong for me. And the Jews
so
said,
the issue here is that
then they said,
Jesus-
then they said, well, today is the day that I can let a person go. Who do you choose, Barabbas
Yeah.
or Jesus?
Yeah.
And everyone went,
Yeah.
Barabbas!
Free Barabbas and kill Jesus.
So the Jews
the
killed
Jews are responsible for killing Jesus. Huh?
is that right? It's a mortal being, just like horse. Is that right?
It's their right to should make a choice, but you're not free from the consequences
everything
of
that
those
happens.
choices.
Everything that happens in the world.
But they made, right?
The
Everything
Jews-
that happens.
I don't believe it.
You getting this he does, and he knows how you got.
God
it.
knows every thought, word, deed you've ever done.
My great grandfather who died because he gave me this truck because he couldn't see anymore. Under your
Nice.
belief,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. That is literally what you just said. He doesn't matter. My great grandfather.
He didn't say anything negative against your grandfather.
Yes, he
No,
did.
I didn't.
I said, where do you guys
I
get
said
this truck? And he
God
said,
knows.
it doesn't matter.
The
Just because
information-
you
he
didn't
said the
know where I got
information
the
about
truck
it doesn't
mean you didn't
matter.
say what you said. You fucking
He
bigot.
said he said the
You are a
information.
bigot.
He never said
Okay,
anything
what's a
negative
fascist?
against you
And how am I
or
a
your grandfather.
fascist? Yeah, and how am I
A
one?
fascist is somebody who supports radical government through ethnic cleansing, through
Don't support
one
it.
established religion,
Don't
one
support-
established
yeah,
religion,
yeah, don't
pro
support
God,
it.
pro life. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, pro God, pro life. Yeah.
Yeah, pro-life is also more
Pro-
detrimental to people than pro-choice, by the way.
What's that?
People who
Do you
have
know
to carry
that?
abortion.
No, that's
You
not
know that
true.
for a-
Yes, I do.
Murdering
Yes, I do.
children isn't the way
So-
to go.
Yes, I do. It's also just morally.
I support all women,
morally
even the ones in the
deplorable.
womb.
Say you rape your
I
daughter.
support all
Say you
women.
rape your daughter. Do you want her to carry that child?
Yes.
Yes.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
And I bet you would.
Okay,
I
so
bet you would.
so
Like,
sins of
it's
the father
really
says it's
horrible.
okay to kill a child.
Yeah.
It's
If
okay
somebody
to kill
rapes,
a child.
if somebody
for the
rapes a
sins
girl,
of
I don't want to
the
add.
father.
We're not gonna
If somebody
disagree.
rapes a girl, I don't want
We're
to
not
add
gonna
murder
agree
on
on
top
this.
of
It's not
it.
a
Okay,
child,
what
we're not gonna
happens?
agree on it.
What happens if you murdered a pregnant woman?
If I murdered a pregnant woman, I murdered one person.
No, you'd
No.
be charged
No.
with two
No.
murders.
We're
You
not
get
gonna
charged
agree
with two
this. We're not
murders.
gonna agree with this.
Well, no, you see, you're
In
just-
America's
The
law, you
is
already
also
get charged with
not
two
fact.
murders.
The law is also not fact. Because guess what? The law
you
serves-
can't
the
have
law
it both
serves-
ways.
It's a,
The law
it's
saying
a
all
human
kinds of
baby.
stuff.
It's just time,
No,
place,
it happens.
time,
Okay,
space,
do you
and
want me to
matter.
explain it? Can I explain it? Can I
No,
explain it?
no. Come back next week and tell me what
I will tell
document
you what-
is way more.
What's
sought
worse
about
than
and-
what's
and
worse than rape?
researched.
Again, just
What's
because
worse than
people
rape?
read it a
Murder.
lot doesn't make it
Murder.
important.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
murder.
what's-
It's a sentient being that you're murdering.
Right, that's a good point. What's worse than rape or incest?
Murder. Murdering children, our children as genocide is worse than rape and worse than everything else.
You do know that like,
Life
before-
begins at
before-
conception.
Before first trimester,
You
there's
have
no
a
experience
human
of pain. By the way.
being. You have a human being. Right
Well,
there.
you have what is you become a human being.
No, you're already a human being from conception. The DNA is
Again, we're not
it's a
gonna
differentiated
it's not a
DNA.
Let's
turtle.
drop it. We're not going to because you guys
you
have
can't-
fundamental
you
disagreement
can't
with the
support
facts.
it.
Yeah, you can't
Again,
support it.
again, we believe
It's a
the
fool's
facts.
errand to try to deny that the baby's a human.
How many
It doesn't matter what you
abortions?
say. It doesn't matter what you say.
How many abortions are done annually on a percentage basis that were a result of incest?
Probably like 5%.
No, 0.01.
2%.
Yeah.
0.01.
Really small. Yeah.
Everything else is
Same-
an excuse of convenience.
Same goes for
Well,
rape.
so what
Same
about
goes
if it's
for
a
rape.
medical issue? What if they can't afford
You know how
to
much?
pay for this
Okay,
child
so
support?
Those are less.
listen,
Those are less than.
rape, incest, and medical reasons
Yeah.
result
It's
is
I think
about 2%.
Yeah.
Okay.
The rest of them are
we're
all
arguing about 2%.
all
I'm
excuses
arguing
that
that
can be
98%
the law should protect 2%.
No,
As well as
the
98.
law should protect 98% that are.
That's criminal.
Yeah.
You are a criminal for saying that. You are a criminal.
Yeah.
You just discriminated against somebody. You just said 2% of the population does not deserve their rights.
No, I'm.
No, 2% of the right. No, the baby has
You
more.
understand what I'm
The baby
saying?
has just
You're
as much
a
rights as the mother.
Let's
piece
talk.
of shit.
No,
Like, get
you
over
said
it.
you brought up this 2% thing, and instead of arguing that, let's argue the 98%.
Okay.
I'm not going to convince you about the 2%.
Yeah,
I'm convinced.
yeah. Don't even worry about the 2% at
But
the moment.
let's talk about the 98% that are done because
Just because.
a person likes their sinful lifestyle.
Okay. Again, you don't. I mean, okay. So where's the proof that 98% is caused
Planned
by
Parenthood.
sin?
Planned Parenthood.
Sin is not a factor. There's no sin in law. You guys can't say that.
You don't believe in sin?
No, I don't, because it's not. I believe in.
So
it.
if somebody steals from
let
you,
me
you don't believe in
explain
sin?
this to you. Let me explain this to you. I can believe in sin personally. I cannot have it reflected in my law because it's a religious belief. The law needs to protect all people. It does not need to
The
protect
moral
your
law is
interests.
established
So
even without
if I
even without
beat
religion.
if I beat you up and stole your truck, is that a sin?
I don't know. It doesn't matter to me.
It is a sin.
It's not a sin. To me, what you
It's
did
a
is a
sin.
fucked
And
up
it's
piece
also-
of shit. And I'd come
it's
clean.
also
You know what I mean?
against the
Like,
law.
Yeah, exactly, right?
But it's first
so they
foremost
can't
a
align.
sin.
They can't align.
Can you have morality without God?
Yes.
Okay, well then you can have morality and government without God.
Yes, that's what I just said.
Okay, so
Morality and government without God.
you can have
I'm
it.
preaching
You
for.
can have a standard of morality without God.
without
but the,
God, which is what the government should rely
Right,
on.
but the foundation of morality comes from God, because if there's no
it
God,
doesn't.
there's no morality.
Your morality comes from God.
If there's no
Mine
God,
doesn't.
there's no morality.
So if I don't believe in God, how can I be a good person?
You can be a good person, but you have to steal from God to even come up with a construct of morality.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
So when I was a child and I intuitively understood that I should treat others.
Yeah, because God is speaking to you and establishing that in your heart and your
It
life.
wasn't my mom who told me all
Jesus-
of my lessons.
Yeah, well,
Jesus
he
has
gotta work with your
contacted
mom.
everyone
Any real life-
since the beginning of time. Indians,
Yeah. Without God, there is no such thing as morality.
Yeah,
It doesn't exist. The lion eating the antelope is not wrong.
you're gonna find out.
You guys are kind of like ridiculous, to be honest. It's really hard to talk to you when you guys won't accept that you're wrong on anything.
We're not.
I've given.
We're just not wrong enough.
guys. And
We have a relationship with the living God. You
Do you
don't.
accept that you're wrong on anything?
Yeah, totally.
Well, you're
I
totally
could be.
wrong on your
On your
quote of the
belief in
Bible.
Jesus. Yeah.
On my quote of the Bible.
Yeah.
On your
on your
conception
position
of
on the Bible and
Yeah.
your rejection of
Probably am.
Jesus.
I probably am. He probably
So-
told me no more about the Bible.
so
than me,
go
but what I'm
back-
saying is.
But even
is
in your
all
rejection
no,
of Jesus.
Stop
You didn't-
interrupting
you
me,
thought the
piece of
Romans
shit.
killed
Stop
Jesus.
fucking interrupting me. Stop it.
You've been interrupting the whole
Yes,
time.
I have. Because I have something
Okay.
to
And
say.
you, and
I'm
you
done.
can't control yourself.
Yes, I can.
You
are
obviously
a piece
can't.
of shit.
And
You are a piece of shit.
and that shows how rotten your heart is. The filthy things you say, the fact that you've been cursing us and saying evil things against us. We haven't said anything negative or cursed you out, or we haven't cussed you out the whole time. No, you got demons and you don't even realize it.
You have fucking.
You got demons and you don't even realize
Oh
it.
my God! You
living-
defended the Crusades.
Yeah,
You
no,
defended
I didn't have
the
anything to
rape
do
and
with it.
killing of
I didn't have
people.
anything to do with it.
Yeah, neither did I.
No,
I
and
can still admit that
and
your
you tell them
religion
they're
did it.
wrong because they didn't obey the Bible. They are
Okay.
the Crusades are completely against the Bible. You can't call them Christian.
Okay, so anything
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. If somebody claims to be Christian and totally goes against the Bible, then they're not
Get a
Christian.
little flustered, buddy. You want to take a minute?
I said, I'll repeat it to you. If somebody
I'll
says
repeat it.
claims to be Christian and they go against the Bible, they're wrong and they're not Christian.
Okay.
So,
basically,
just because-
basically what I said. If I don't believe that it's wrong, if I do, it's wrong.
Say again.
If you don't believe it, it's wrong. If you do believe it, it's right. It's as simple as your logic is. I mean, it really is.
No, if you say you're a Christian, you disobey it, you're not Christian. So if the Crusades are not Christian because they didn't obey the Bible.
This is. Yeah.
God bless you. Have a good day. There's something.
Do some prayer. Come back next week.
Yeah. Ask Jesus for help.
Heaven invades the earth. You just begin to lift up your hallelujah. Raise it like a banner. Raise it like a flag.
What's your name so I can pray for you? Give me a false name. Okay, I'll pray for no. I'll pray for no. Bye, no. Bye, no.
I'm right. They didn't like getting cooked out at 1 p.m.
Ah,
So they changed their hours from 10 to 12 instead.
I thought maybe graveyard was coming on.
I don't know. I bet you anything if they don't want to get too hot.
Well,
Yeah, God bless you. Have a good day. Yeah, I heard him. I didn't see it.
Tell me your name so I can pray for you.
Well, okay, so people will manifest demons in a lot of different ways. They don't even realize it, how much demons have control over their thought process.
Then he said, okay, I said, the devil, Satan, scripture, and prayer.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pray.
Yeah, I heard him scream. Devil horn.
And he had this really ugly face. Bye, no. Tell me your name. No. So, okay, no, I'll pray for you. I'll pray that he's not a. What do they call
it? A meat suit for a demon?
it? Meat suit, yeah.
Demon meat suit, yeah.